Hey everybody, it's Kellen Nitro from Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel, and what should have been a vlog talking about the possible career-defining match coming up this weekend for Becky Lynch ended in heartbreak as we found out on Tuesday that she is getting pulled out of the match at Survivor Series and that Ronda Rousey will be taking on Charlotte Flair instead. Here are my thoughts on the whole situation. In the aftermath of Monday Night Raw on Monday, we found out that Becky Lynch suffered a broken face at the hands of Nia Jax. Was it accidental? Was it on purpose? It's been kind of debated online since the incident or video of the incident showed up. I'm leaning towards the side that, hey, it's wrestling, it's not ballet, accidents do happen, and yes, a lot of this stuff is choreographed, a lot of this stuff is predetermined before, but, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men sometimes go astray, and, you know, the fact that it is physical entertainment, you're going to get injuries, and WWE, as of late, has been losing a lot of major stars, not only to illness but to injuries as well. I mean, you know, taking Roman Reigns out of the situation and his illness that he's fighting right now, you had a lot of guys that are, and girls this year, that have served time on the injured reserve list and that stuff. And unfortunately, Becky Lynch joined that group after Monday. Now, the fact that it was such a hot ending to Monday Night Raw, probably one of the hottest endings we've seen in a long time, doesn't make stomaching this any easier. It would have been a great match between her and Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Unfortunately, we get Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey instead, which is a move up, I think, of a lot of people's predicted WrestleMania plans, because Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey were on a lot of people's prediction list to meet at WrestleMania 35 in New York City. Well, New Jersey, New York City, that same area. So WWE had to do a lot of, we call it out here in Western Canada, rejigging. I think it's a oil field term almost, but it just basically means a lot of thinking and reacting on the fly and making decisions because your initial plan has gone astray, right? I can only imagine over the past, I'm recording this late on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, over the past 48 hours, what WWE creative was like, you know, how different it was going in on Monday versus what came out last night to try and get this Survivor Series card off the ground a little bit after that should have been the main event. I think that probably would have been the last match out there, would have been Ronda and Becky. You know, obviously isn't going to happen. So, of course, that's a fine print at the bottom, card subject to change, right? It's, you know, a well-known, not so much trope, but cliche in the wrestling industry, but it happens. So, but what they decided is worth talking about. Basically anointing a brand new main event out of nowhere, knowing that potentially Ronda and Charlotte would not have the same pull, gusto, and star power going into Sunday as Ronda Becky would have. They decided to make Daniel Bryan the WWE champion while defeating AJ Styles and maybe turning him heel. I'm not quite entirely sure. We have to see how this plays out. While it is awesome to see Daniel Bryan get a run with the WWE title, I honestly think that that might have been maybe a plan for WrestleMania 35, again, being moved up. So if that is the case, what's the plan then for WrestleMania 35? You've already blown two of your predicted matchups that you wanted to see, or predicted results that you wanted to see, going into Survivor Series. While it does allow creative and it does allow the powers that be at WWE a lot of time to come up with something for WrestleMania, and more importantly, Royal Rumble to become the catalyst to get the ball rolling for WrestleMania. Just this fall period, the last couple months for WWE has drastically changed the main event look of WWE going into WrestleMania 35, because the rumored Shield freeway will not be happening, obviously. There may be a chance, depending on how long Becky's out, that Becky and Ronda may be pushed back even past WrestleMania. We'll have to wait and see, because concussions take a while to heal and that stuff. Alexa Bliss still hasn't been cleared to wrestle, and there's doubts that she would wrestle or end up back in the ring before the end of the year. It might be an early 2019 thing. Concussions are nothing to screw around with. Added on top of that, the public image of the company leading out of Crown Jewel, and the I don't want to say asinine, but absolute disregard to public opinion of staging the event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, after the Khashoggi tragedy, I guess, over there. And it's just not a great, it hasn't been a great, I guess, fourth quarter, if you call it, for WWE, I guess, public image-wise and luck-wise, going into, or what should be their busy season, the road to WrestleMania in 2019. But the moves have created one thing. It has, and their movements, they have thrusted them into the spotlight again, and a lot of people are talking about them, whether in negative or positive tones, and that's what they want. That's the thing. That's what any company wants that's out there in the major business sectors or whatever they're doing, whether you're baking donuts or running a wrestling company, right? And it's never a dull moment. It is never a dull moment with WWE now at this point. Usually this is a real dead period of the year for WWE. They kind of blimp into Survivor Series and then ho-hum and then, try to stay afloat until Rumble, and then we see all the new stuff come out at Royal Rumble. This has been anything but. With all the news coming out of WWE over the past, I guess, 2 or 3 months or so, October and November, with everything that's happened from, the Crown Jewel gate to Becky Lynch's rise as a almost an icon now amongst female fans and such in WWE, to what happened this week, and now the title change where Daniel Bryan is now the WWE champion, but it looks like it's a heel turn now and that stuff, and they've pulled the trigger on that, to the potential of Bryan and Lesnar this weekend being the main event. This has really become a very intriguing and very interesting time of year. Add to that the success of the Evolution pay-per-view, which was the all-women's show. Man, it's the company right now. I think at this point they've kind of got the momentum back from New Japan. WWE has become the company to watch, just because of the wacky stuff that's been happening, right? And that's not even taking into account, the deal with Alexa Bliss and when she's coming back, and the unfortunate announcement for Roman Reigns and him vacating the Universal title. This has just been just a real wacky fourth quarter, but it makes things super interesting. Super interesting to be watching wrestling and to be watching WWE, in my opinion. So what are your thoughts? Post them below. I'm Kellen Nitro, later days. Happy wrestling watching. I just felt like I had to get some thoughts out in the vlog here. So if you agree with them, if you don't agree with them, post them below. Every opinion is great. And we'll catch you guys later. Happy wrestling watching. Share the video. Like, subscribe. Please subscribe. I would love to have a few more subscribers. That'd be great. And we got some more great wrestling content coming your way. And we'll definitely circle back and talk about this, because I think that, just before the end of the year, this is probably one of the major stories in 2018. It's just been this real lousy run of luck WWE has got. Some of it's self-inflicted, some of it just kind of thrust upon it in the fourth quarter of 2018. But just the way they've reacted to it and that stuff is just, some of it is head scratching and some of it is like, yeah, and then some of it is like, wow, okay. Anyways, see you later, guys.